Which choice completes the text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? Over 20 years ago, in a landmark experiment in the psychology of choice, Professor Sheena Iyengar set up a jam tasting booth at a grocery store. The number of jams available for tasting blank. Some shoppers had 24 different options, others only 6. Interestingly, shoppers with fewer jams to choose from purchased more jam. So in this second sentence, we can clearly see that there are two independent clauses. The first is the number of jams available for testing varied. The second part is some shoppers had 24 different options, others only 6. So because there are two independent clauses here, that means there must be either a comma conjunction to properly separate the two independent clauses, or some other punctuation to do the same thing. So let's look at the answer choices. A. Varied semicolon. So A seems to be the correct answer because the semicolon here can be used to separate these two independent clauses, and because the second independent clause is sort of explaining or elaborating on the first independent clause, a semicolon is quite viable here, and for a semicolon to be capable of being used here, the part of the sentence before the semicolon must be an independent clause. That is true because the phrase, the number of jams available for testing varied, is an independent clause. So overall, A seems to be the correct answer. B. Varied comma. This is incorrect because this results in a comma splice because this comma attempts to connect the two independent clauses. But because a comma cannot do this on its own, B must be incorrect. C. Varied comma while. This is incorrect because although this is a comma and a conjunction, this leads to an illogical sentence where it would say the number of jams available for testing varied, while some shoppers had 24 different options, others only 6. This emphasizes a contrast between the 24 different options and others having only 6, but this doesn't really make sense because the first part of the sentence highlights that there's already a variation, so using while here, this makes the sentence more seem illogical. So we can eliminate C. D. Varied while. This is incorrect because the conjunction on its own cannot connect these two independent clauses, so we can eliminate D. And with that, we're left with A as the correct answer.